Let's talk about it. All right, how to turn $500 into $1 million asset in 36 months or less. That's effectively the working title, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, number one, before you think that you can magically transform $500 in a short amount of time into $1 million of cash, that is absolutely not how it works. That's not how money acts. That's not how it operates. And whenever you see somebody tell you that that can be done, it cannot be done. So just get that out of your mind. However, you can, in effect, start with $500 today and in less than 3 years. In fact, I'm saying 36 months to be conservative, but it's less than 24 months you actually can make this happen. That you now, with $500 starting today, have a $1 million asset in that amount and period of time. All right, how do you do it? Let's get to it. Okay, this is a hypothetical, number one, this is a hypothetical breakdown. It's just meant to show you how it can work and how you can do it. It is actually doable. It may be different for your market, but the principles remain the same, okay? So if your target is 500,000, that still applies. The same principle applies no matter what the number is. Well, not as too much higher than $1 million in that short amount of time. But again, let's get to it. Say you have $500, right? And you have 5 to 10 like-minded friends, okay? Let's say you guys create a group together. You guys agree to hold each other accountable to saving up $500 every month for the next 6 months. But let's start with yourself. In $500, you now have $3,000, right? That's in six months. 500, 6 times, that's $3,000, right? Now, if you have 9 other people to do the same thing, you in effect have $30,000. Okay. Let's say one of you has good credit, work history, and can get approved for $1 million loan for a multifamily property in a market where you have $1 million property. Let's say Washington, D.C. or New York City, right? So you guys pool the money together. One person goes on that you trust that manages the crew, goes in there, and you guys put down the money. Again, with a FHA-backed mortgage, you only have to put 3.5% down. Let me repeat that. With an FHA mortgage, you only have to put 3.5% down. Do the math. $1,035,000. Let's say it's less than that. Let's say you're buying a $800,000 asset. Then it's 20-something thousand that you have to put down. So this is how you actually come up with the equity. That cash is called equity, to actually own and control a property like that. And this way, in effect, you actually could have $1 million asset inside 12 months, okay? Inside 12 months. But let's say you're not in New York City. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me repeat that. With that, you guys save up for 6 months, a group of you go together, you could actually own and control $1 million asset inside 6 months. Okay, well, inside 12 months. You guys save up for 6 months and so forth. Anyways, but if you're not in New York City in a market like that where you get $1 million property, here's what you do. Let's say you're in a market like Atlanta. And I'm just making up numbers here because I don't know the specifics if a deal like that exists. Sure, it does, but stay with me. It's hypothetical in nature. $500,000. You guys now have to come up with $17,000, $18,000, right? Let's say it's in decent shape. You fix it up a little bit. You hold it and operate it. You increase the rents. You own it and operate it for, let's say, 12 months. You increase the value of the property. Now you refinance. Let's say, again, hypothetical in nature, it now appraises at $750,000, right? You then refinance, pay off the old loan, put a new loan on it, and again, the cash flow will support the mortgage payments because the bank is only going to lend you to where you can break even on your mortgage plus 20%, right? So now you have extra equity. Let's say you pull out, I'm just throwing out numbers here. If you pull out an extra $100,000, now your group can go in and use that as a down payment for another property. There are loans where you can buy stuff with 5-10% down, but even if it's 20% down, that $100,000 will now become a $500,000 asset with a 20% down payment, which is very conventional. Now your group has a $750,000 asset here that you bought at $500,000, owned and operated for a year, increased the rent, managed it successfully and properly, refinanced, and now you have another property at $500,000. You staying with me here? That means you have one at $750,000 and one at $500,000, and this all takes place inside 24 months. And now you ask yourself, well, what if I got to share that with 10 people? Hey, here's the thing: your group now controls that. Once you do the third deal, at this point you actually in effect have a fund. You have a syndicate. Now money will come to you. And this is where you can scale, rinse, and repeat and do the same thing. Now you put in 10 people that come with $100,000 because they see you guys have been able to manage money successfully. Now you put 10 people with $100,000, you have $1 million. Now in cash. And what do you turn that into? You can turn that into $5 million if you use it as 20% down payment, or you can turn it as a $10 million property if you use it as a 10% payment. Because, there might be a lender that's willing to do that for you. So this, in effect, is how you can start today with $500. Save it up for 6 months. You have 3,000. Have 9, 10 other people to do the same thing, and you guys can go in there and buy properties together. And again, this is just an example. You don't have to put 3.5% down. You can do other things. You put 20% down. It really just depends on your market, what you want to do, what your goals are. So this is, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in circles here, but this is how you do it. Save up, start, get a group of you together, go buy some property, and now you're in business. All right? Keep me posted.